guys, and welcome back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm one of your host, Shinry, here with Everything Anime Podcast, talk about from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, and whatever relevant topics we're talking about. Today's video is on Dr. Stone, chapters 106 to 109. Oh man, so I want a little side note. I've been watching the Dr. Stone anime, currently in the Stone Wars arc. I do think reading the manga first got me more into Dr. Stone because the anime, it's just kind of flying through it. Whereas the manga does too, but it feels more fulfilling, I guess, in a way. The way the characters are drawn, the humor hits harder. But I am enjoying seeing it in action, seeing the scenes play out. So it's still pretty cool. But that's where I'm at in anime. And I probably will stop before I get to Dr. Stone New World Season 3 because, again, I'm already in New World and I want to get a little bit further ahead before I catch up to myself. So anyways, when this chapter opens up, the Princess, I'm going to call her Priestess Armaylis, she promised to tell us the secret of petrification. Now I was like, if this is true, that would be insane. We finally would know what this weapon is, how it works, how did it make it on a grand scale to the smaller scale, because it only turned everybody on the ship to stone. If it affected the entire island, it would have reached Kohaku, Senku, Sozu, and Gen. But it didn't. So we know that they can control the scale of this petrification weapon. And that's the biggest mystery. The petrification mystery is the One Piece. The petrification mystery is who is Ichigo's mom. The petrification mystery is who is Naruto's mom. We already know who Naruto's dad was from the beginning. Don't even try to say you didn't. Naruto's having fourth Hokage was way too obvious. But yeah, that's the biggest mystery. So, I'm like, are we going to learn it this early? 100 chapters in out of 205? I think it's actually 230. I looked yesterday. Which doesn't matter. I'm actually glad it's a little bit longer than I thought it was because I thought, I'm loving this manga. But we then go into a flashback and we learn as a child they were told stories about the master and his rules, which there are only two. The first is don't create anything new. So basically Senku, he's basically like Picasso, I reset the world, we don't know his motivations. It could be like Tsukasa. As I said, the Y man could have wanted to be like the ruler of the world. I'm gonna reset humanity, bring back who I want to, make a harem of women to myself, and the rest of y'all gonna bow down, bitches. Y'all gonna bow down. Beyonce, I stopped the world. I stopped the world. I stopped the world. Well, stop.
Carry on.
That's the Y man, okay? That's what the Y man was doing. And so, he's like, don't create anything new. And also, don't ever leave the island. So that's interesting. So maybe he only planned to resurrect a small amount of people and like I said, rule over that one island, be the king of the world, because the rest of the world would not be able to unpetrify themselves. He did not expect Father Ishigami, Lillian, and the two other astronauts to be on Earth. Was it 5 astronauts? 6 astronauts, right? Because the wife and husband, 6 astronauts. He did not expect 6 astronauts to be off the planet and then come back and basically restart humanity. He didn't expect that. So all the Ishigami village, all the other villagers, he didn't expect them. I guarantee it. I guarantee the Y-Man is... Because, that happened during the petrification event or after. And then Father Ishigami and the rest of them were born came down immediately after when everybody's petrified. So we don't know if the Y man was petrified himself. We don't know if the Y man had descendants and left a book behind. That's why the Y man is still the biggest mystery. We have to find out his origin and what he did and how he started this, because that'll answer a lot more questions. But we know he did not expect those 6 astronauts to come down back to Earth. Now, Princess or Priestess Armaylis and her friends, they were rebellious teenagers. They weren't going to listen to somebody. They thought it was a joke. They're like, there's no rule. There's no God that's going to turn us into stone. And so they immediately, make a boat and they try to leave the island. All while the Armaylis is watching from the island, from the shore. She's like, hey, come back. Don't do this. Don't be stupid. These are the rules since we've been born. And almost immediately, the right and left hand of the master, I think it's Mozu and I forgot the girl's name. But the left and right hand of the master, they land on the boat, or they spot the boat, And one of the guys on the boat freaks out. He's like, oh my God, dude, they caught us. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. Oh, Kirisame. So like Kisame, but with the R. That's the girl's name. Mozu is the guy. Kirisame is the girl. And we also learned that they are the strongest warriors on this island. So they are the Kohaku. They are the Genro. Not Genro. They are the Kohaku, the Kenro, the Magma, and that's a three-pronged strikers, right? I think Genro. I guess I'll count Genro. But they're the strongest fighters on the island. They tossed something into the sky, and I wasn't sure what it was at this scene, but later, like, we'll see what it was, or like an idea of what it was. But the scene that follows is insane. This thing implodes and becomes something like an eye in the sky. Now, I imagine that's going to look crazy in the anime, because in the manga, you can't really tell how it's designed. At least I'm hoping so, because, like I said, when Tsukasa put up the phone in the anime, it wasn't as cool looking as in the manga. But the way he drew Senku's face, like when Senku's angry, and that in the anime, from what I've seen from like this still picture in the last image I made, that looks like it was done well. So I'm hoping this is done well. But it looks like an eye in the sky, almost like a big brother, and almost literally like or better yet, Sauron from Lord of the Rings, immediately staring down at them like the sun, and it turns them to stone. And just like Medusa. And Senku and the others immediately understand this, and they ask Armaylis, like, how did you escape? Like, why didn't you get turned into stone? We understand what you're saying, because, like, the whole world was turned into stone, but why did you escape? And she's like, well, the light just stopped. Just before it reached her, it, like, stopped. So that tells us they can control the range of this petrification weapon. They can control this light that turns people to stone. And so she was like, well, it could have been luck, or it could have been planned. The villagers have been afraid that the master and his descendants have the power to turn people into stone, like Medusa. Like, they believe that he really is God. They're like, if we defy him, if we break these two rules, create anything new, or leave this island, we're going to be turned to stone. So it's a small price to pay, live in this, like, villagers type world. Don't ever leave the village. You're safe. Oh, well, not really. I'm a little bit further ahead, and I know I can tell you for sure that's not true. But she believes it's a weapon, and it's a weapon that she can steal. She's like, whatever that thing was, they threw it into the air, and it petrified people. But it only has a certain range. So she's like, if it's a weapon, I can steal it. I can use it for myself, and I can turn it against them. It's also here we learn several other things. So yes, Dr. Stone concludes it wasn't luck. You didn't get lucky. That thing definitely has like a certain parameter, a diameter that it can form into a spiral ball. Second, the users are afraid of being petrified themselves. That's why they throw it away from themselves. Like, whatever they threw into the air, they're afraid of being petrified themselves. So they don't control the weapon. The weapon has no prejudice. The weapon they're not immune to being petrified. And three, you can stop the petrification by cutting off whatever part of your body is being affected. So say like your hand starts getting petrified. If you immediately cut off your hand, the rest of your body won't be petrified. And that's like, if even a little piece of you gets petrified, it'll continue to spread. But if you cut it off fast enough, hair, toss off your shoes, something like that, it'll stop the process. And secretly, 4, since it doesn't appear to be magic but science, Senku realizes that it can be replicated. So he's like, not only can we know that this weapon can petrify even them, the users, the master and his minions. Not only do we know that it has range, it has a certain brand, you have to throw it away from yourself. And not only do we know, we can stop the process by cutting off whatever's being petrified or affected, turned to stone. We now know, we can steal this. This can be replicated. This can be, remade and, used for our own purposes. Now, Senku obviously wouldn't kill them because Senku and the Kingdom of Science don't kill. But they would petrify these people until they could be put in prison. I'm pretty sure Senku would do that, for sure. Meanwhile, Armaylis is going to be a part of the next yearly harem selection where the master chooses another bride to join him, whether they're married or not. So this goes into, what I was saying a little bit earlier, is that, you're safe if you don't leave the island and you don't create anything new to an extent. If you're a woman and they want you, it don't matter if you got a husband, it don't matter if you're a wife, it don't matter if you're, a daughter or, a newborn like are coming into your age, they will choose you and they will take you, and you have no choice to go with them. This is confirmed a little bit more chapters later, but that's how she says it now, is pretty much how it's going to go. Like, you have to go with them if they choose you. It's very much celestial dragon behavior from One Piece.
Please let go of me. Stop it.
Take her ahead to the harbor for me.
Yes, sir. Huh? Who's that?
I recognize him, Captain. That guy's Pirate Hunter Zoro from the East Blue.
Huh? Why is he walking right down the middle of the street? Don't he know you don't do that around here?
He's gonna cause a lot of trouble.
Hey, what's the matter? Do you need some directions or something?
What in the hell does he think he's doing?
A kid?
Big brother, why'd you have to die? Why'd you leave me? No. Just stay still, tough guy. Big brother, why'd you stand up to a celestial dragon? You know that can only end in death.
I guess I actually shot him, huh? Thought for sure he dodged at the last second, but oh well. Must be imagining things. Well, whatever. As long as he's dead.
Celestial dragons want you. It don't matter if you're like a father, son, mermaid, whatever being you are, human or not, humanoid or not, rich or wealthy, poor or, you know, just doing average Joe. The celestial dragons want you. You're their slave, and the world government will make you know that. If you refuse, you're killed. You're executed off the spot. It doesn't matter. I'll try to find a clip from One Piece showing the celestial dragons doing that disgusting behavior, but yes, they are the gods of the world, just like the Y-Man is the god of Dr. Stone's universe. They think that they're in control of everything. Like, nothing. They choose what they want, and you just have to go with it, including if it's like your PS5 or your dog or your mom or your brother or your sister or whatever. They will buy it, and it's theirs. Now, Armaylis intends to get chosen so that she can steal the weapon for herself and save her people. So she intentionally wants to get chosen for the harem so she can get close to the master, close to the weapon, steal it, petrify him, petrify everybody, and, you know, save all her people, her friends. So the suspicion that she's the Y woman was gone from my head from here, because I was like, I'm not getting the vibe that she's a villain or like a reverse. I'm not getting that she's a double agent. I was like, I don't know. She seems too sincere about it. So I believe her goal is noble. So she's off my suspect list for the Y-man/Y woman. However, Kohaku says that one of the warriors is a woman, and how is she gonna handle something like that? How are you gonna handle Kirisame if she's that strong? Armaylis, you're not a fighter. You're definitely a con artist. You definitely know how to fake your way out of a situation. But Kirisame will beat your ass, girl. Like, she's like, you gotta leave it to me. I'm the only fighter. And then, you know, Kohaku's like, I'll be chosen in your place for the harem selection. I'll enter the harem selection. To which everyone makes this joke to themselves out loud that Kohaku isn't cute, which is not new. Like, they've been calling Kohaku a gorilla, well, specifically Dr. Stone, since the moment he met her. And others have just tagged in on that. And, you know, I think that's fucked up. But, I mean, it made me laugh. Hilariously, the chapter ends too is that like they want to give like a science makeover. Like Senku's like, oh, we're gonna give you a makeover, Kohaku. And she makes this face like, what, a makeover? What is that? Because like obviously they don't have makeup in this current Stone Age. But that was a really funny ending to that chapter. And so when the chapter begins, next we have the Operation Makeover. And boy, does she look different in the dress. Like, Kohaku actually, I like the way he draws, like, not these, I'm not gonna say ugly characters, but like how he transforms these characters, or like all anime and manga, or like even just fiction in general. Like, you know, you take the non-pretty, natural pretty woman, female, and then you like put her in a dress, do her hair, and all of a sudden she's beautiful. I do like how he did this. Hilarious that Kohaku was just worried that she can fight in a dress. So even though she looks cute and beautiful, she's just like, this is kind of tight. I can't kick my legs high enough. I can't store my weapons anywhere. And like she immediately does like a windmill kick, and then she grabs her sword and shield, and she says, "Ready." And it gave me Wonder Woman vibes from like Wonder Woman 2000. I don't know, the first Wonder Woman.
Yep, that's not gonna work. Please put the sword down, Diana. Dinah.
Let me try it by myself.
After you, sir.
Why don't I meet you back at the office, and meanwhile I'll take this for safekeeping?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
You gotta put the sword down, Diana, please.
It doesn't go with the outfit.
At all.
Like, she went to that suit and she pulled out her weapons. It was definitely, I remember everybody laughed at that scene in the movie. It was definitely that kind of humor. I love that. That was really great. I'm gonna see if I can clip that in too. However, Senku says the only way they can transform her is with science, which is semi-fucked up because they could be referring to makeup and things, but maybe not, because I was just like, damn, Senku, you're like, yeah, you still don't look good enough to be in a harem. Like, if I saw you at a selection of women, yeah, I'd be like, pass, next. Either way, the boat with our lab equipment has been hijacked. This is when we meet his Minister Ibara, who has a unique and interesting design. He is like a counselor to the master and gives him direction. Kind of like in Prince of Persia, like you had the counselor that like whispered in the ear of the King of Persia. Or in Naruto, how you have like the right hand of the Hokage that like kind of gives him an advisor of the Hokage. The Hokage is in charge, but like, you know, Shikamaru is there telling Naruto like, hey, I would do this, I would do that. Just like whatever the pig woman's name was that told things to Tsunade. And just like I said, like the counselor to a king, Minister Ibara is like supposedly the counselor to the master, the Y-Man that we have not seen yet. And so the only way to get to that lab that has our equipment to make Operation Makeup work, it's on the ship that Minister Ibara and all the I don't know what to call them. I'm gonna say the Y-Man's minions have taken over. We even learned that this old man strikes fear into the left and right hand of the master, Mozu and Kirisame, who are the strongest on this island. As she begins to question him about the ship, he immediately shuts that shit down. He's like, "What did you say to me?" And she's like, "Sorry, I didn't mean to. I don't want any punishment. Please don't say the master / Y-Man like I questioned you." And then they commit blasphemy. They smash my boy Chrome into pieces and to take his drip. Disrespectful. That is the most disrespectful thing you can do. Chrome is my OG character, okay? That's my boy. How dare you crush Chrome? That hit me in the feels. I was like, oh my God, is Chrome dead? But then you gotta remember they can just put people back together and still save them. But that still was fucked up. Don't you ever lay a hand on Chrome. Chrome is my character. Kohaku immediately zooms in, and at first she's going for the attack because of that's her friend. Like, she's gonna go on the assault. She's like, how dare you kill? I mean, girl, I got your back. You dare for my boy Chrome. But instead, she stayed level-headed. Like, even if she wanted to attack, she stayed level-headed and was moving in to use her ultimate eyes to see if anyone else had escaped the petrification. So even though it looked like Kohaku was like gonna go kill them, she's like, okay, I can't make this move yet. So instead, she like used her ultimate eyes to see if like anyone else had escaped. And as she's checking the ship, you know, they don't know that Ryusei kicked Suki out of safety yet. Suki is off the ship, even though they don't know she came. However, the female hand, Kirisame, immediately locks on to Kohaku. She's like, what are you doing here? We also see this girl is on a completely different level than Kohaku, as she decimates Kohaku with a kick, but instead shatters, she tries to decimate Kohaku with a kick, but Kohaku dodges, but she shatters a large rock with her leg. Wayne never seen Kohaku do that with her body. Like, yes, Kohaku broke that stone. But like, we know Kohaku has precision and speed, but even Komura kind of outclassed Kohaku at first. So we know Kohaku is strong, but like, yeah, these fighters on a whole different level, which is great. It keeps the stakes high when your enemies are a little bit stronger than your main characters. They begin to battle almost immediately, and I love the way he draws swiftness as he did with like Hyoga versus Tsukasa. That was pretty cool, like how he draws the swift lines and things like that. Now, Kohaku begins to panic because without weapons, she's too much for her, and she does only what she can. So Kohaku doesn't have her sword, her shield. She's like, there's no way I can keep up with this girl, like, hand-to-hand combat. Like, obviously, she's way too strong for me. And like I said, she just shattered a boulder with her fucking legs. So, yeah, Kohaku, it's understandable that you're panicking right now. She's like, yeah, this girl's on a whole different level. I cannot fight her. Not like this. I need weapons. So instead, Kohaku shouts, "Lab!" Which she knows is the only thing that Senku and the others don't understand. Like, everybody else in this time would not understand what a lab is. And so Kirisame's kind of confused. She's like, "What are you shouting? Like, have you lost your mind? Have you gone crazy?" And Gen immediately realizes what's going on and goes into mentalist mode. And that's why I said I love that our crew, like, just, they're like the Straw Hats. Like, we understand what each other needs without even having to speak sometimes, without having to directly say what the other needs. You just understand it. To save themselves and make it more convincing, Senku hilariously kisses Kohaku, who is unfazed, but we can see that she isn't happy about it either. Like, she's just like, what the fuck? Why is he kissing me right now? Again, I have a childish humor, but it was just great. Like, I love how she's just like blank face. And Senku ain't enjoying the kiss either, but it's just going with it. And then we did learn in the background that someone else did survive. Genro, who I did not see that coming. I did not see Genro being one of the survivors aside from Kohaku. Now, apparently he hit in a barrel after diving underwater to avoid the petrification light. And although he is not happy about saving anybody, like, Genro is not like, oh, man, damn, I gotta be the hero. If he knew that there was like a hot priestess on the side, I was like, he would do it. He was like, oh, there's a hot girl out there? Oh, yeah, I got this, guys. Don't worry. He'll fake being a hero to get that praise. But how did we end up here? That was my biggest question. Well, we get a flashback before everybody's petrified, where Yusei actually saw one of the master's hands. I think he saw Mozu in the sky. And as though he were Shikamaru or Senku himself, he quickly deduces that one, oh no, it was Kirisame that was in there. One, she's an enemy because she refuses to acknowledge him. Two, she's either attacking them with a weapon because whatever she threw in the air is something that she's keeping at a distance from herself as well as the others on the island. So he said the fact that she threw that away from herself, that tells me that it's some kind of weapon. Like, she doesn't want to be affected herself. And he's like, it could be a grenade, and obviously that's something if you throw in the air, like, you would throw that away from yourself. And Yukio tries to detonate it early by shooting it with like he's trying to shoot it with an arrow, but to no avail. Like, whatever Yukio's arrow hit, it just bounced off of that weapon that was thrown in the air. Now, Ryusei, being a kind and loving captain, thought not of himself, but of the crew. He could not save them. He's like, I can't save the rest of you, but I can save you, Sukiya. So he kicked Sukiya off the ship. He booted her. He's like, I can't save the others, but I can save you, Sukiya. Get off of this ship. Like, whatever's about to happen, get out of here. Hilariously though, I love how he like just kicked her like a soccer ball. He like just like boom, like punt, and she just goes flying. I thought that was pretty funny. I mean, I know he did it to save her life, but just pretty funny. That kind of like Luffy when he grabs his crew and just jumps off. They realize what's going on. They know what Luffy's doing, but they're still like, Luffy, how the fuck did you do this? Kanjira. Just very great humor. We also learned that Genro was returning to the surface when he noticed that the light was consuming the ship, and so he swam deeper into the ocean to escape it. So Genro, I think at one point we knew he was underwater. I did this in my previous chapter where he saw like, because now that I'm remembering, Yukio had him go down and find out like what was beneath the ship because his sonar was detecting something, and that's when we found all those people petrified underwater. So yes, Genro, we knew he was underwater. It's because I had took a break. That's why I forgot about that. We learned that he escaped, possibly because Yukio's arrow knocked it slightly off course. So even though Genro was underwater, he also survived because Yukio's arrow slightly moved. It might not have like stopped the weapon, but it like tilted it to an extent. And what movie did I watch that brought something up like that before as well? Something I had watched recently talked about like how like hitting something slightly at an angle saved the rest of them, but whatever it was, it'll probably come back to me later. But it was a lucky save, and thankfully, because now we have Genro and Sukiya outside, as well as like, you know, Kohaku, Senku, Sozu, and Gen. But like we're gonna need everybody's help to save everybody. And now, when Genro returned to the ship, he learned that everyone was petrified, but even more horrifying to him was his best friend Kenro. As I said, like, you know, Kenro and Genro, they had this like strong bond of friendship. And so, you know, even though Genro is seen as a coward, he cares about this man. Like, that's his best friend in the world. Like, seeing him like unable to save him, seeing him like in that state, he's just like, damn, I wish I could have been here to help you. So I love that. Love seeing powerful friendship like that. While on board, he heard someone was coming, so the first place he could hide was under that barrel. So now we know how Genro got here. When he overhears that Kohaku shouted lab, Genro tries to signal Senku and the others of his location. But the moment the group learns that he's the one that escaped, they're like, oh, it's Genro. Which is also hilarious because they like sarcastically praised him for making it to the ship. So they probably knew, like, he didn't want to be on the ship in the first place. But, like, again, just great humor, great gags. And you would only understand that if you read Dr. Stone from the beginning to from the beginning to current. And with any anime or manga, like, you would only understand those jokes if you saw it from the beginning. But I did love, like, their reaction. They're like, oh, it's you. You're the one that survived. At one point, Kohaku tries to convince the others that Genro has helped him in a pinch, which he has. And maybe they can help him here. But as he signals the words back to them, asking them to save him, which gets another hilarious gag from them, like, we need you to save us. Why are you asking us to save you? And that gets another hilarious gag from the group. Like, no, idiot, we need you to save us. Like, we need you to get to the lab. Don't ask us to save you. But because Genro exposed himself for even the slightest second, the minister is kind of onto him. He's like, what's under this chest? And dude, the way this guy's eyes are drawn, like big, wide, blacked out, it was fucking like intense. He's like, I can detect the slightest movement. So he has like the ultimate eyes, like Kohaku, maybe better. But he tracks him down with like basically to his hiding spot, like the barrel. He's like, I wonder if this barrel moved even the slightest inch. And how freaky that looks in the manga, I'm wondering if the anime is going to do that justice. Like, that is like Tsukasa's like eye when he pulls out the cell phone in the manga. Please do that scene justice. That scene looks like, damn, like that's kind of scary. He's about to unveil his location, but a noise comes from the greenhouse and at the very last second. However, they only find goats, and this is when they realize that they're also aware of the 100 tails. So, like, they're like, oh, we know what goats are. So the fact that they know about the 100 tails is interesting. So they are possibly descendants of Ishigami village as well, or at least they know about the 100 tails that Father Ishigami passed down. But who was really behind the noise in the greenhouse? Was it really the goats? Of course not. It was Sukiya blending in with, like, you know, her watermelon helmet, which I already suspected from the beginning. I knew Sukiya would probably find a way back onto the ship and save Genro. Sukiya has a plan to rescue Genro as well as regain access to the science lab, and I love how brave she is for little kids. She is like OG, another favorite character. Not one of the top, not like Chrome, not like Yukio, but she's definitely up there. Or Ryusei is up there too for me. And Taiju, I've come to love Taiju, but Sukiya's probably like B rank, whereas like Yukio, Genro, Yukio, Chrome, Ryusei are S rank. I'm about to make a tier list of all my favorite characters of Dr. Stone, probably at the very end when I finish the manga. And Senku's up there too in S rank. However, Genro is focused on using his ultimate move that he's been perfecting. It's called Not My Problem, which includes fleeing. Very hilarious. Genro's. It reminds me of Chrome's ultimate move, which is kicking a guy in the nuts to make him fall over. He's like, oh yeah, ultimate technique. And Genro's ultimate technique is like, not my problem, and running away. Basically, Usopp. Very hilarious. Love that. Very great. Now, Genro nearly escapes, but then he remembers his best friend Kenro is still on the ship. And of course, he goes back for him. He's like, I can't leave you behind. They're, again, very wholesome, very great sign of their friendship, showing, like, even though we haven't known these characters for a very long time, I mean, 100 chapters is a long time, but it's not, like, enough to, like, flesh out their friendship. But seeing these, like, small interactions, small actions, it confirms, like, what we already know. In the middle of his save, Sukiya shows up and knocks out all the guards with her melon head, which was fucking hilarious. I just love the way that they handle battles and stuff like that. It gives me Ed, Ed, Eddie, you know, like, what was his name? Melon Man? You know, when Jimmy put that melon on and he had Plank as, like, his weapon on a staff. I'm gonna see if we can find a clip of Melon Man.
Now, Dad.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh. I see him, Eddie! Right on time!
Shed a tear, 'cause Captain Melonhead is here.
You've met your match, Melonhead! Prepare yourself for Professor Scam! The evildoer has arrived!
He's lost it. Honestly. Unhand that money, Professor Scam!
Never! I will now make my escape in my bat to the bone, meaner than a junkyard dog, Professor Scam Flyer!
Oops. It's melon time!
Look out for those feet, Eddie!
But that's what she gave me. She gave me Melon Man coming to save the rescue. However, she can only provide a distraction, which she is hoping will buy Genro enough time to get the lab equipment to Senku and the others. So once again, Sukiya, a brave little girl, is willing to sacrifice herself to save the others. Because remember, Sukiya was the one that led Hyoga, Homura, and Tsukasa's army to the poison gas. But it was Kohaku and Senku that went up to save her, you know. So Sukiya is a brave little child to do all this stuff. Like, seriously, she's brave as hell. Love that character. So she's going from B rank to A rank, actually. Make sure we make a note of that. Sukiya is A rank. She a badass. She a little badass. But there's still a dilemma within Genro because he wants to just escape with his best friend Kenro. He does not care to save everybody. He does not care to save the science life. He's just like, I just want to save myself and use my ultimate technique of not my problem. But even without words, his bond with Kenro is too strong. Like, he knows that if he saves his best friend by himself, he knows that his best friend would say right now. He would say to believe in himself and, you know, save all their friends. Like, they're counting on us, Genro. We're the only two that can save them, or specifically you, Genro, because you're going to save me. But if I was here, I would tell you, like, have faith in yourself and save everybody. Like, you know, be a team player. And that's all our boy Genro needed. He just needed a pep talk from his petrified best friend. Without words, he just needed that confirmation from Kenro to be like, all right, I can do this. And he does. Now, with Sukiya and Genro's teamwork, they get to Senku's mobile lab, and they secure it, and they get it into the sea, which apparently acts as a car and a submarine. Did not see that coming. I don't remember. I know we didn't make a car, but we had never made a submarine before. But I guess since we made a ship, obviously Senku would have a submarine somewhere on the ship. So after they escape with the mobile lab, they find themselves now surrounded by, like, all of the people on this islands, like, or Mozu, Ibara, Kirisame, and, like, the other villagers or the Y-Man's minions. And it seems like they don't know what a car is in this time, which is why they're confused, which is why they don't attack. So he has an even better idea. He says, we're going to create poop, which was just, I was like, what? Why are we creating poop? Like, just the stupidest funny gags of Dr. Stone just is incredible. Now, using rotten seashells, jasmine flower, and heating them up, that's all it takes to create poop. And Genro was like, who would want to create that? And I was thinking the same thing, my boy Genro. Like, I was like, who would want to create poop? Like, and it's just hilarious. Like, again, Dr. Stone teaches us, like, how to make these things. It's not saying you should, but, like, it's just saying, like, yeah, you can make poop if you want to. But it's really just a stench of poop that they wanted to drive them away, which creatively and hilariously does. Like, all of the white man's army just runs away. They're like, oh, this fucking stinks. And it was 100% success. And I loved it. And that humor was so much for me that I just ended the chapter there. I was like, this was great. This was the best way to end this review. It's just, we created poop. We drove the white man's army away. Job well done. Hilarious. Now, that's all for today's video. Like I said, I am up to chapter 120, so I am 10 more chapters ahead of where this is at. So we're going to stop here for now. And because I'm farther ahead, I can't speculate for you because I'd be giving away spoilers because I don't know what to speculate. But I can say I'm still having so much fun with Dr. Stone. I hope you are too, reading these reviews of me. I do want to start Tokyo Ghoul soon. I've already read chapter 1 and I want to talk about it, but I want to catch these Dr. Stone videos up. Possibly finish Dr. Stone before we talk about Tokyo Ghoul. But either way, we'll see how it goes. For now, guys, I got to get to work, so I'll let you guys go. See you guys in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces a choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne. Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red Will Rain Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.